Good day everyone. Today we'll be continuing our discussion with solutions chapter. In the last class we were discussing about positive and negative deviation in case of non-ideal solution. Today we'll be talking about the second category of binary solutions which will be dealing in the chapter, that is solution of solid in liquid. That is, a solid is dissolved in a liquid. Now this is the most common type of binary solutions which will be seen in day-to-day life, such as sugar dissolved in water, sugar dissolved in milk, salt dissolved in water. These are the examples of binary solution in which a solid is dissolved in a liquid. So let us start with solutions of solid in liquid. So solution of solid in liquid. Now, whenever you try to dissolve any solid in a liquid, there are some factors which influence the amount of solid, that is the solute you can dissolve in the given solvent. So there are some factors which decide the amount of solid, that is in this case or for these type of solutions, generally the solute is the solid and the liquid is the solvent. So there are some factors which influence that you can dissolve how much of solute, that is solid, in a given amount of solvent which is generally liquid. So let us see the factors affecting the solubility of a solid in a liquid. So factors affecting solubility of solid, that is solute, in this case solubility of solid in liquid, and the liquid will be acting as solvent for this case. Now I'll write the factors in short and I'll discuss them. So the first factor is nature of solute. Now in this case solute is the solid. So generally the solute or the solid which you will try to dissolve in the given amount of solvent or the liquid will be of two types. Ionic and non-ionic solid or solute. So what is an ionic solid and what is a non-ionic solid? An ionic solid is a solid which is composed of charged particles called ions. Means it is made up of charged particles or charged components called ions, and these ions are arranged in a three-dimensional arrangement which is known as crystal lattice. So in case of ionic solid, the ions with which that ionic solid is made is arranged in a regular three-dimensional arrangement which is known as crystal lattice or lattice. So if you want to dissolve that ionic solid which is present in form of lattice, you have to break that lattice so that it gets dissolved into the solvent. And in order to break that lattice of the ionic solid, we need some energy, and that energy is known as lattice enthalpy. So in case of ionic solid, you have to supply lattice enthalpy to break that lattice in which the ions are arranged to dissolve them in the given solvent. So if that lattice enthalpy happens to be higher, then it is not going to be easy to dissolve that ionic solid in the liquid, and if the lattice enthalpy is low, then you can easily dissolve. So generally it is seen that ionic solids do not have low lattice enthalpy. Generally the lattice enthalpy is on the higher side for ionic solids. So it is not easy to dissolve ionic solids. Why it is not easy to dissolve? Generally, you can say generally it is not easy to dissolve ionic solids. Why it is not generally easy to dissolve ionic solids? Because they have high lattice enthalpy, and to break that lattice you have to supply that lattice enthalpy, which is lattice energy. So generally if the solute or the solid which you are going to dissolve in the solvent is ionic in nature, then it is not going to be easy to dissolve that solid or solute into the solvent. So ionic solids are difficult to dissolve, or dissolution of ionic solids is difficult on account of high lattice enthalpy. So the first is the nature of the solute. Second is nature of solvent. Nature of solvent. Generally the solvent is going to be liquid, and solvent or the liquid can basically be of two types: polar liquids and non-polar liquids. Now what is a polar liquid? A polar liquid is the type of liquid in which the molecules of the liquid have charge separation between them on account of electronegativity difference between the atoms of elements forming that compound, you can say. Means in that liquid there will be charge separation existing between the atoms. As a result, there will be charge separation, permanent charge separation in the molecules because of electronegativity difference between the atoms of the element forming the molecule of the solvent or the liquid. So solvent can be of two types. Polar, in case of polar there will be charge separation between the atoms of the liquid. In case of non-polar there will be no charge separation. So this solvent can be of two types. It can be of, I am writing it here, polar and non-polar. Generally it is seen that polar solvents, polar liquids, have high dielectric constant. Now what is dielectric constant? It is the property of the medium which affects the electrostatic force of attraction between the molecules, or you can say ions. So if dielectric constant is going to be higher, then that liquid or solvent is going to effectively reduce the interaction or force of attraction between the ions. So if it is going to reduce the force of interaction between the ions, or reduce the force of interaction between the ions, then it can easily dissolve solids which are having higher attractive force between the ions. And which type of solids are generally having higher attractive force in between the ions? They are ionic solids. So as ionic solids are composed of ions, and ions have high attractive force between them, so it is the polar solvents which are having higher value of dielectric constant which can reduce this higher value of force of attraction between the ions, and as a result they can easily dissolve those ionic solids. So ionic solids are easily dissolved in polar solvents, whereas non-polar solvents have low value of dielectric constant, so they generally dissolve non-ionic solids, or you can say like dissolve like. So polar solvents can easily dissolve ionic solids, and non-polar solvents can easily dissolve non-ionic solids. So this is the second factor. The third factor which influences the solubility of solids in a liquid is the temperature. So let us see about the third factor, that is the temperature. Now, how temperature will influence the solubility of solid in a liquid? Thus, when you dissolve a solid in a liquid, that change can be either exothermic or endothermic. Means that dissolution of solid in a liquid can be either exothermic or endothermic. Now, exothermic means heat is given out when you dissolve the solid in the liquid, and endothermic means heat is required or heat is absorbed when the solid is dissolved in the liquid. So, if the dissolution is exothermic, if you increase the temperature, the solubility of solid will decrease. Once again, if the dissolution of solid in liquid is exothermic, then on increasing the temperature, the solubility of solid in the liquid will decrease. On the other hand, if the dissolution is endothermic, that is, heat is absorbed during the dissolution of solid in liquid, then if you increase the temperature, in that case, the solubility of solid in liquid will increase. So, in exothermic dissolution, if you increase the temperature, solubility will decrease. In endothermic dissolution, if you increase the temperature, solubility will increase. Solubility of what? Solubility of solid in the given liquid. So, these are some of the factors which influence the solubility of a solid in liquid. We will be seeing about or discussing the properties of this type of binary solution, which we will call colligative properties, in the next class. Today we will keep it till here only. We will be continuing further in the next class. Thank you so much.